Every story has two sides. But what happens when one side is rewritten? Again and again, until truth itself begins to vanish. This isn't just a story about manipulation. It's about recovery, reflection, and the anatomy of deception. A look inside the mind of a narcissist and the heart that survived it. You're listening to Diary of a Narcissist, where truth finds its voice again.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Diary of a Narcissist. I'm Lizeth, and as always, I'm joined here by my co-host Jason. Today, before we dive into a main topic, we would like to be clear that we are not experts on narcissism. We are not clinical psychologists. We only speak of our experiences with narcissism. Jason, from his perspective, as someone who has inflicted pain and emotional damage onto others, and now he is on the road of redemption and recovery and self-awareness. And I have been in an abusive relationship as well. So we only speak from our experience.
We're not speaking about anybody in particular. This just goes out for everybody.
Yes. And it is a hope that we reach as many people as possible that can find clarity and a safe space here with us to identify whether it's traits that they didn't know about, whether it's pain they didn't know about, and what words to put into that feeling that they've been having. So that's it. Just want to be honest about that. I also want to dive in speaking directly to survivors listening. I know how confusing it can be when you start to question yourself after being in a long-term abusive relationship. You might wonder if you are overreacting, if you're the problem, or even if you're turning into someone like the person who hurt you.
Yeah.
If that sounds familiar, I want you to know that you're not alone. What you are feeling is normal. It's a normal response to manipulation and abuse. It's not a flaw in you. It's a reflection on what you've been through. Today, we're going to explore why survivors often doubt themselves, how abusers choose partners, and how understanding that dynamic can empower you to reclaim your life. After living an abusive relationship, one of the hardest things I faced is constant self-doubt. I caught myself questioning my instincts, my reactions, even my own sense of right or wrong, believe it or not. And I know many listeners have written asking, am I a narcissist too? Am I overreacting? But these are common feelings because abusers use manipulation, control, and even occasional kindness to create trauma bonds. And over time, internalize that blame and start doubting their own perception of reality. And with all that said, I want to ask you, Jason, why do you think survivors so often feel like they might be the problem?
Gaslighting, making them feel like they're wrong. Yeah. Make them feel like they're wrong. Once they feel like they're wrong, now you have control.
It's all about control at the end of the day, right?
If you lose, we already know, we spoke about this multiple times. If we don't have control of that person or the situation, now we start acting out even more to get what we want. Now we start hurting you. Now we start calling you names. Now we start belittling you.
And these are examples of everyday life. That confusion comes from having those episodes of making the person feel less so that the abuser feels bigger.
Yeah.
And then you have periods of good times, right?
We always want to be up here. You start getting confident, feeling stronger, independent. It's crazy because you feel like you're not being attacked. I feel less than. When I used to, this relationship I'm in today wouldn't be successful if I was who I was 10 years ago. The relationship probably would still be going on, but I wouldn't be happy now. because the person I was then hated anything that was making me look like I wasn't in charge. I wasn't the man. I didn't have control. So I had to belittle everything you did or wanted to do or question me on my work when all they're doing is asking, hey, how does this work? Don't worry about how it works. That used to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so aware of it today. It's crazy that I was like that. I'm just feeling those feelings again. That's why I'm pausing. And it's
No, that's
horrible.
okay.
It's like, why the hell? I was so crazy. And I wasn't aware of it. That's why I love doing what we're doing now. If you're feeling like that and you don't know why, and you don't want to be like that, and you want, why am I so mean to my spouse or my coworkers or my partner for just asking me a question? That's part of the awareness too,
Right. And
It's
it's
a
not
lot.
normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal at all.
And there's help. There's help available. There are groups you can go to. There's people definitely that can help. If you ever need to reach out to someone, don't hesitate to send us a message. We can definitely put you on the right path to getting help if you need to, whether you are experiencing the pain of or you're the victim suffering that. We can definitely put you on the right path.
And if I'm
Yes.
answering your question too, heads up to the audience. If I'm answering a question and I start going on, it's because there's something stemming into that situation that's going on in my head or that moment. It all comes together for me. It all makes sense. That's all.
Yeah, that's okay. Those are hard topics,
They
We're
are.
still doing the work to overcome certain emotions. And
Yeah, me too, Liz. I still work on myself. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I still work on myself too. I
Yeah.
want to let you know that I still do this. I'll give you an example. I was at work a year ago. Heather was working with me, and all she did was ask me a question about the floors. Well, why do you do this with this with this? She's just asking me, and I took it as an attack. I got mad at her. I said, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "I'm the boss. I'm in charge." Like, I didn't say that, but that's how I need to tell her that. And I hurt her feelings. And I remember sitting down and I was cleaning out the joints that I was doing on the floor. And I'm like, why do I do that? And I walked up and I apologized to her and I told her I'm sorry. And I don't know why I got so mad. And then we started talking about it. And that's how this gets resolved. And then I got to the stem of why I felt attacked. And all she was doing was she just wanted to understand why I was doing the way I was doing it. So she knew what she was doing. But I immediately felt like she was trying to steal my thunder. She wasn't. And it makes me feel bad now that even then when I did that, I'm like, I'm such a dickhead. But it's good.
You went back to it. You went back to that and you apologize, and that's important. And most people don't do that. Most people just move on to the next thing and don't think twice to consider the person's feeling. Why is this question coming about? And it's not, maybe it wasn't about you. It was her trying to get understanding and do a better job.
For us to do a better job, not even her, us.
Right.
We're a team. Everything her and I do, we want to do the best we can.
Right.
And God has to be in that picture. So with God in that picture, I can't better myself. I can't be aware of that because I'd be lost. Right?
Wow. That's fantastic that you're doing the job, the work to be aware of these things. It's not easy. The world out there, it's full of jerks. I'm sorry, but it is.
No, you're right. It is loaded.
Yes. One of our listeners wrote in about the difference between immaturity and abuse. They said that sometimes men are very self-centered in their youth, and women may overlook warning signs, hoping they will change. Eventually, they realize it wasn't healthy for everyone involved. From my perspective, even after so many years of being in that type of relationship, it is easy to make excuses for someone's behavior. Maybe it's immaturity, maybe it's hope, but the patterns tell the truth. When you start observing the patterns, you realize, this person is not just immature. This person is not just childish. There's something underlying that needs attention, and it always comes and shows up with the truth. Why do you think, though, someone keeps hoping for change even when it's clearly toxic?
Repeat that question.
Why do you think someone keeps hoping for change when it's clearly a toxic relationship?
I would say they're just emotionally invested. You put so much time into a relationship and you don't want to start over. I know that's how I used to feel. I'm like, maybe we can work this out. Maybe we can fix this, but by showing them love, it's okay. You just hope that they do eventually change. When they don't, it's very disappointing. I'll use me for an example. When Heather and I, when we work things out, we know if we're both not aware of our actions, especially mine, I'll speak for me only here. If I'm not aware of my actions, I can't change. So if she's getting mad at me for something and I don't, and I blow it off, I'm not going to change. I'm not aware of it, or I don't want to. Yeah, that's what I would say. It's definitely it's an investment in just trying to in the relationship.
What do you think? I know now that you're not in that position as a toxic narcissist. Why do you think makes it hard for victims to see the real signs?
We're really good at playing that role, making it very convincing that you're wrong. Very convincing that there's something wrong with you. Why would you think that? That makes no sense. Are you crazy? Like, this thing's I want to do. You're insane. Why would you even think that?
This is ringing some bells.
Yeah. Or, oh my God, I told my friends about this and they were like, are you kidding? She really believes that? And I had never even talked to my friends about it. You just make shit up. Make it sound good. Make it sound so good that the victim is like, something wrong with me. Maybe I need help.
Right. Because you guys are so confident, in saying it. You guys are so confident about everything you speak about, even when it's not even true. And, speaking of confidence and low self-esteem, the same listener asked about low self-esteem and the partner being taken advantage of. And I know that I can relate, not because I had low self-esteem when I went into my relationship. After so long of that dynamic, I did question I blame myself. I question my instincts, and I try fixing things. You really can't fix things when it's just one person fixing things. You just talk about the team. You are a team and you're fixing things together. You can't fix something when the other person doesn't think there's anything to be fixed.
You nailed it. Absolutely. It's not going to work.
Right. But why do abusers tend to pick people who are vulnerable? And why does that make the dynamic so sticky? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know. Me, I never looked for somebody vulnerable. I never said, she's vulnerable, I'm going to date her. I never did that.
Okay.
If men are out there, more women doing that, that's probably just for control. I mean, it's obvious. A vulnerable person you can easily control. They're weak. What best time ever is we should be lifting them up. Instead, a sick man or a sick woman is going to want to keep that person down so now they can control them. Keep them feeling vulnerable. Make them feel less than.
Wow.
Yeah. And be under the radar when you're doing it so you don't look like it's you. It's them. It's really sick. It's sick.
Yeah.
I never did that. I'm even reflecting right now. I never. Well, not on purpose.
If you could say you had a preference in women, was it someone that was completely the opposite of you?
I know. Honestly, I've always been attracted to strong women, independent women. Even my brokenness, I was never attracted to that. Vulnerability, weak. I never was. It doesn't attract me.
Right. And I think it is important to clarify something. I was reading Abusers don't only target vulnerable people. Sometimes they pick partners who are strong, empathetic, highly principled, or even very different from them. They may be organized, super disciplined, calm people, completely opposites. And they say, opposites attract. Those traits can give the abuser emotional reinforcement or control. And I think that makes total sense.
That does make sense. It could have been me.
That could have been you. I mean, that was definitely me. And it's funny because the deflection and different subjects, organizing things. Oh, how about we fix this and we have it disorganized like that? Well, I've been organized most of my life until I joined your circus. A bit of an understatement, I know.
Yeah, and it's definitely an understatement.
But it's the constant deflection. Things that they're doing, they point it out as if you're lacking that, but it is really them not doing it. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the takeaway in this is that being targeted doesn't mean you're weak or flawed. Abuse is about the dynamic between two people and not a deficiency in the survivor's part.
What can I get out of this relationship? And not
Right.
always knowing it, like subconsciously, maybe I was doing that and I didn't know that I was. What can I get out of this? I need a place to stay. I need a place to live.
Right.
Whatever. She's got money, or maybe she can help me. Maybe she knows people that can get me connected. I don't know.
And that might be also for the victims. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into rationalizing why do I need to stay with this person. Of course, there is the trauma bond and the love that you feel for that person and the love that you think they feel for you as well. That goes along with what you just said on the previous question. The emotional investment that you have in this relationship, the years that you put in. There's so many things why we justify staying. It makes it very sick and very hard.
It's just because you get comfortable. You get used to it. You settle. Yeah. It gets to that point, I think, even for me, not just being even as a victim, in general life, we get comfortable where we are. Fear of change, not wanting to start. You got kids. What are you going to do now? Now you're stuck. Now you have to deal with it. That's horrible to even think about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You're a prisoner now.
Yeah.
And that's what they want.
Excuse me. Yes.
They want to control everything. It's okay.
It's true. And another listener wrote, am I a narcissist too? Do I just focus on their flaws so I don't have to look at mine? This is a really common question. After years of abuse, it's natural to start questioning everything about yourself. The truth is, noticing the abusive behaviors in someone else is not the same as being abusive yourself. Observing patterns is your mind protecting you, not harming others. But why? Why survivors often feel they might be the narcissist? What's your opinion on that?
I think just from being belittled for so many years and held down and always wanting to do better, and us flipping it on you.
So the gaslighting again.
Gaslighting again. And now we made you feel like you're narcissistic. I've done that before. Arguing with a spouse. Listen to you being narcissistic. Huh? You think you're flipping this on me? I'm already ahead of you. You ain't getting me with this. You're being narcissistic now. I've done it. Yeah, I've done it.
But
it works.
Yeah, no, but were you aware of it? Were you aware that that's exactly what you were doing, or it was just...
I legit believe that they were being narcissistic, but maybe they weren't. They were just calling me out. I don't remember the situation, but I remember saying that multiple times. Maybe they weren't being narcissistic. Maybe they were calling me out, and I didn't like it.
Right.
You're exposing me. So I need to flip this quick.
In your perspective or your opinion, what would you say to survivors so that they can start distinguishing between their own behavior and the abuser's manipulation?
Good question. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to be aware, do your research.
Right.
Like you.
Awareness.
You have to be aware of it. I mean, that's because I know my fiance, Heather, she's very aware of it. When I act out sometimes, she's very aware of it. She calls me right out.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I would tell the abusers. Call them out. If they don't like it, and they're not going to like it, eventually, if they want help and they want to be better, it sucks at first. It gets easier. I get called out and I'm like, I don't get so butthurt anymore. I don't feel like my chest is going to explode when when I'm called out or pointed out. So that's what I would do. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would do. Get aware of it, do research on it, know that they are doing what they're doing. And yeah, that's what I would do. And if they want to change, that's great. Stay in. If they want to change, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again. If they want to change, keep helping them. Let them get the help. If they don't want to change, I would run.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me.
You're okay.
Yeah, I would say also maybe to get validation, external validation, people you trust, truly trust, whether it's your pastor, if that might be your situation.
Get a circle.
Your therapist, get therapy. Find someone who is expert in trauma therapy.
Definitely, I think that's a great idea too. Do therapy, especially when they're learning that they're being narcissistic when they didn't know, as I didn't know. But if they know and they go, watch, they don't play that card game with the therapist. Because if they're doing that,
like that's tough. Like when you said do your research, it's tough to get that on your radar. Oh, this person is being narcissistic. I was not aware of the word itself and its meaning when it comes to relationship. Excuse me. I always thought a narcissist is someone who is just so in love with themselves. Someone, to me, it absolutely is. And I mean, it is a painful realization to come to understand what narcissism is and the roots of it and how it destroys lives. The person suffering from it, the person who's been inflicted the pain of living with the narcissist. But yeah, it's hard to realize what you're dealing with. So definitely if you start noticing patterns, if you start seeing things that don't make any sense and you're constantly gaslighted and made yourself doubt about your choices and your reality, really, so look into that and try to get the proper help.
Yeah.
So that you're not in the fog.
On that note, real quick, before you talk about the next listener, that's what I did. When I realized that I was that man and I didn't want to be that man anymore, I totally got help. I was involved in the church too. I was in programs in the church, and I was getting to the root of my my defects, my character defects. If that helps, it helped me a lot.
Being involved in the church.
Okay, so once you get to the root of your problems, your anger, all your character defects, why you're so butthurt all the time, why you're hating on people, why you don't love it helps so much. Building a relationship with me and my Lord and Savior Jesus, turning my life over to Christ in 2009 changed my life. I definitely wouldn't be sitting here with you right now talking about this. I'm not lying. A man in the position I was in, I'd be in jail now or dead. But God only knows how many people I would have hurt on the way. I didn't stall from a lot.
Wow.
And half the time I wasn't doing it on purpose. It was just who I was, I guess. It was part of my lifestyle. And I'm not that man. I'm definitely not that man anymore, obviously. But yeah, I would definitely get involved. Yeah, thank God. Because, I'm raising my son differently than I was raised, and I'm raising him to be a good man. He's a big believer in Jesus Christ, and he loves God, and we pray every
I
night. We
know.
pray every morning. Things like this, trying to help other people, this is what I love doing, not just with
Yeah.
this and anything in general. And there's people out there that'll take advantage of you, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. In private conversation, spoke about Heather, for example, and how she is so kind and she doesn't want people to ever feel the way she's felt before, being hurt, And I think that takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to not want to hurt people the way you were as the sake hurt people, hurt others. And it is true
Yeah.
when you don't do the work to heal and better yourself. And that starts with the people who love you the most. That will be your children. That will be your closest relative. You're going to hurt if you don't do the work to change and be self-aware.
Yeah, except if I didn't change, my son would be the piece of shit that I was growing up. He would turn into, absolutely. Just couldn't imagine being that man still. Like, where like I said, it's a freedom. I spoke about this a few weeks ago in one of the podcasts. It's a freedom. It's a blessing. The relationship you have with the Lord, the people in the church, and not just in the church. I have people outside the church too that I'm really tight with, that are in my circle, that I can call and be like, hey, listen, I did this, this, and this. Okay, I'm wrong here. What do I need to do? What do I got to do? And I still do that today. I still do it. We always want to better ourselves. We always want to be better men. And that's what I love about my relationship now with Heather and my family, because the people that I hang out with that are in my life, they want to be better people. I don't hang out with whiners, complainers, people that want to bash other people. I'm not perfect. I do gossiping. I catch myself bashing people. I do catch myself cursing. I catch myself lusting. I catch myself, I do it all day long, every day. But I catch myself and I immediately shut it.
Right.
There's guys I sponsor, and I tell them, listen, when I I always remind them, I know I'm telling you to do this. Doesn't mean I don't. I still act out, but talking to you about it helps me do it less and less and less and less and less and less. Because I'm never going to be perfect, and I'm always going to act. But am I going to keep acting out? So that's the difference in people changing, catching it. And I'm sorry, that's different compared to how I used to act. Start yelling at her and be like, you're just picking at me. You don't love me. You don't care about me.
One.
Yeah, I loved using that one. You don't love me. You don't even care. You don't know nothing about me.
You never did.
Yeah, you never did.
Yes. It's funny because I can joke about it.
Yeah.
I sometimes still find myself having a physical reaction. It's painful because the gaslighting, it's so deep and it goes back to so long that I said to myself, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to laugh about it, and hopefully work that we're doing can help somebody feel that way at some point. You never love me. You never care for me. Really? All right. If that's that's the way you feel about it, then that's the way you feel about it. I'm not going to defend not anymore. I'm not falling in that trap. And one of our listeners shared that they tried to teach their ex by being kind to themselves, hoping that the abuser would mirror their behavior. Psychology shows that this often doesn't work. Kindness can't teach empathy if someone is incapable of it. So I think boundaries are essential. They are part of protecting yourself. You can't fix the abuser. But what do you think about that? Why do you think it's common for the abuser to resist learning from kindness from someone else?
That's a crazy question. I forgot I used to do that. When I used to feel like it was fake. I still talk about that today, just in general. I hate fake people. I can't stand it. And I don't know why. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why do I hate it? Let them be fake. They want to be fake. It's just irritating.
So when
because
someone was,
because I know it's out of kindness. And when they're kind, yeah, that's the thing. I'm just trying to feel it. When they're like, if you're kind to me, not now. I didn't know how to be kind to somebody. So it would piss me off. And I'm like, why the fuck can I be kind to this person? This is bullshit. But I didn't say that then. And I'm like, for years, if you're kind to me, right? Fuck's wrong with this person? Shut up. You're annoying. And then it got to a point to where as I was getting older, I'm like, why am I getting irritated? This is when I'm trying to learn about myself. I'm trying to better myself. Now the awareness is coming in. Why am I being irritated? She didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. They were just being nice to me. Now what the hell's the matter with me? Am I a sociopath? Like, why do I want to punch this person in the face for being so nice to me? Like, I learned, I didn't know how to be kind to people. I didn't know how to, and I didn't know how to receive it. I just only recently learned how to receive love. I was broken in that. I didn't even know that till a year ago. I'm going to be 48 soon. This is only not even a year ago. I just learned how to receive love. I didn't know how. It made me awkward. I didn't get mad, like irritated, like I was years ago. I got past that because I knew it was me that was broken, and I know it stems from my childhood. Now I know how to receive love, and that doesn't irritate me at all. That's the part that we just spoke about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Growing, changing, being aware. Let's figure out why I'm doing that. Why am I like that? It really sucks, Liz, when you start being aware of things. Now, like for instance, why am I irritated? I can't figure it out. What's wrong with me? That's where the circle comes in of those men. My group are all men. I have women I talk to. Obviously, women should speak to women, men should speak to men. I speak to my men's group, and somebody in that group is going to be like, they're going to be educated on it, or they're going to experience what I have done, how I felt, and they're going to tell me why. I'm like, it's such a relief to know why you feel the way you.
Yeah.
Oh, feeling like that, yeah, man. That fake is because to me, I just said it, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be kind to someone, and I couldn't receive it. So I'm like, oh, it's disgusting for me. And again, my father took that from me.
Yeah.
That's the brokenness that he took from me. I didn't know. That's another story. That's why I teach my son today. Love him. I hold him. I hold his head. I pray with him every night before bed. I tell him how proud of him I am. I don't bash him. I discipline him. I don't hit my kid. I don't beat my kid. I don't scream at my kid. I don't call my kid names. So that's what I learned. Thank God for these men too in my life. And not doing what I did as a kid, being aware of what hurt me. I make sure I don't repeat that on my son. So again, we got off topic, but I answered your question on the beginning.
You did. And I, just to quickly go back to it, it is on the abuser's part to do the work, to identify why they're so broken that they cannot receive your kindness, that they cannot feel that, and they resist it because there is so much brokenness in there.
Yeah.
No matter how much love and kindness and empathy you pour into that person, into that relationship, nothing will change it until that person becomes aware of that brokenness and does the work to change it. So it's not you. It is not you.
See, me and you talking about this helps.
Absolutely. It helps me.
It's refreshing my memory. It's refreshing me. That's what, man sharpens man. Iron sharpens iron. We have to keep talking about this and being aware of it, because I'll forget real fast and I'll start going backwards. Me doing this reminded me, all right, let's not get irritated on how this says I love you. But I don't get irritated when I say I love you. But I'm just saying, I'm just being dramatic. But
something so powerful that the same listener shared, it wasn't a question, it was just a thought. for our listeners to know. That is, once you figure out the pattern, you outsmart. Narcissists are predictable. Understanding the dynamics gives your power back. I thought that was so powerful to say, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Why do you think it's important for survivors to realize that understanding these patterns, it's empowering?
I'm laughing because that's Heather. Boom. First week I was with her. You're narcissistic. What? No, I'm not. I was like, maybe I'm a little bit. I like to look at myself in the mirror. So what? It's because I'm insecure.
Right. Because you thought the same thing, right? You had the same idea.
She's the reason why I know more about it.
Right.
Obviously, me and you talked about it and our life situations that happened with previous situations in my life, not just with me. And I'm like, huh. So now we're doing what we're doing now. It's funny because when she used to point at this, all my, I felt like she's throwing holy water on me. It was burning.
Exorcism in you.
No.
The power.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Don't talk about Exorcist. Oh geez, that movie. I'm still traumatized by that movie. Sorry, completely off topic, but but that movie traumatized me severely.
Loved it. As a kid I did. But
oh gosh.
Yeah, great movie.
I remember all of us cuddling my mom in bed after watching that movie. We were in line, let me tell you. We were in line. We were not misbehaved.
I bet.
Oh goodness. I would never.
That'll scare you straight. I wish that scared me straight, but it didn't.
Well, it did. For a while, at least. For a little while.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think recognizing the patterns gives you the awareness that you need to not only call them out, but for you to begin your recovery, your healing journey. If we go back to that question, that's what I would say. My advice would be to observe, definitely document patterns.
Yeah.
That there's no other way to find out, because you're going to be in that loop of abuse where you have a lot of love, a lot of days of love and a lot of affection. And you're going to have those days where they're going to hit you where it hurts, and you're going to have guilt trips, and you're going to have blame shift onto. And so it's hard to recognize the patterns when you're in that. So just start observing. That is definitely going to give you power back. I agree with this listener.
Yeah.
It is empowering once you're aware.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. Well, guys, we're close to finishing this episode. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Jason, something you want to share with your listeners, someone who is a victim or someone who is currently dealing with being narcissistic. Any thoughts?
I hope to God that somebody's getting something out of this. I don't care if it's your friends or your family. If you really care about them, you're going to call them out. Because this isn't, it's not like what I used to think, because I used to think narcissistic wasn't a big deal. And it really is, because it destroys kids, families, and you don't realize it. And we're trying to do the right thing. We're supposed to be leaders. We're supposed to be mentors. We're supposed to be helping. That's our only job. If you're aware of it, you need to just call them out.
With the right people. If you're thinking right now, my gosh, I'm toxic, maybe you're not in the right circle. Maybe your circle is not the right one. They're not helping you rise. They're not lifting your spirits. They're not pointing out the beautiful things in you. Oh my goodness.
He's part of the family.
Oh, who is this?
It's the new doggy today we got.
Oh my, he loves you already. Look at that. Oh my gosh. No.
Brand new.
Wait till my kids see your dog, forget it. They've been asking me, they want me to get a dog. And I said, we can. However, we're going to give it 6 months. Okay. We're going to give it 6 months to just see if you really want that. We're going to practice responsibility for another living being. So that's where we are at right now.
You got the same hair.
There you go. Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode. Questioning
Absolutely.
yourself after abuse is normal, but it doesn't make you the abuser. Recognizing patterns, setting boundaries, and understanding the psychology behind it are how survivors reclaim their power. If you found today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and follow us across all platforms so you never miss an episode. Also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send it to us. We'll love to share with the audience here.
Please share. Please comment so we know. Please. Yeah.
Yes. Next week, we'll explore a really interesting topic. We're going to talk about the possible correlation between addiction and narcissism. We're going to have an interesting guest, someone who has helped Jason tremendously and still someone very important in his life. This person is an expert on addiction. So we're going to try to explore a little bit there, see if there is a correlation. So join us next week. Send us any questions you may have about that as well, so we could ask this expert. Thoughts are always appreciated, and we want to hear from you. Remember, you are not alone. This space is for you too.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
See you guys. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.